Well, good morning. And welcome to our service of worship this morning. Special welcome to anyone who is visiting with us. And for those who are back for the first time since COVID, it's so good to see you all here. I would draw your attention to just a few announcements. I'm going to begin with a note from our outreach committee. The committee is so grateful for the tremendous response to the request for help with non-perishable grocery items for the Christmas Index program. As of Friday, all of the items have been spoken for, except for the candy. So if you're willing to offer some candy for that, please just let the church office know. We will be sponsoring 17 families this year. And this coming week, the tags for those families, and those are for the gifts for the children and the adults. Those tags will be on a bulletin board. We're going to start over in the hall. So through the week, they will be on board in the hall. And next Sunday, they will be here. If you're able to help out with the purchasing of any of those gifts, again, that would be greatly appreciated. Christmas wreaths are still on sale, or contact the church office if you're interested. However, they only have till December the 1st, so you might not have too many days to get in on that. Our memory tree is here, and throughout Advent we will be adding stars to that. If you would like to call to mind and remember and give thanks for someone in your journey, please just let the church office know, and if you have a picture to put in the star, we can do that as well. Also a reminder that the nominating committee is looking for volunteers still, so if you feel called to offer your gifts to the church, please contact Tilly, who is right over here. Christmas cookie sale. Are we still looking for bakers?
Yes.
So we are still looking for some bakers to make some cookies for that sale. If you're able to do that, please let Ann know. Ann's over here. Raise your hand, Ann. Right over here. And if you'd like to order any of those cookies, please just call the church office.
I am so thrilled that we are entering Christmas concert season once again. It feels like it has been a very long time, and indeed it has, but we are starting this week with Christmas concerts. Wednesday is the 1st of December, believe it or not, and Canadian music superstar Ashley McIsaac will be here on Wednesday night. If you don't have your tickets, I believe there are still some available from the church office. And then of particular importance to me, and particularly special this year, is that this Saturday night upcoming is the return of the Christmas Candlelight Concert featuring the church choir here, the handbells, and also our guest soloist this year is Brenna Conrad. I would appreciate your support. Please come out on Saturday night if you're able. And as with everything here, masks must be worn at all times, and you need to show proof of vaccination as you arrive for these concerts. The following week, we have Bridget performing here on Wednesday night, December 8th, and then Saturday, December the 11th, is the Cantabile Christmas concert with all of our choirs. I really hope you're able to come and support us in some of these concerts.
And let us join together in song. I'm thinking Tracy was doing them up and going, this is a long enough hymn. Let's stop it here. It's what I probably would have done. Hope is heard in the songs we sing and in the stories that we tell. Hope calls us to see beyond this moment and live into possibilities. Hope is grounded in the knowledge that together we can build a better world. Today we light the candle of hope to guide our way. In the voices and visions of those who have gone before us, we see faith lived out. Their stories shine as beacons of hope, light in the midst of darkness, and guidance on the way. Today, we remember Gordon and Mary Moore. Irene Rushton. Claude and Rose Peaton. Frank Emmanuel. Graham Campbell. John Covan. Let us unite our hearts in prayer. We come in this moment to quiet our minds and souls and open ourselves to divine mystery. We hope for light in the midst of darkness and healing for a broken world. May Spirit, as it weaves among us, fill us with renewed vision and empower us to live a life of love. Amen. Let us hear these words as recorded in the book of the prophet Jeremiah. The days are surely coming, says the Lord, when I will fulfill the promise I made to the house of Israel and to the house of Judah. In those days, and at that time, I will cause a righteous branch to spring up for David, and he will execute justice and righteousness in the land. In those days, Judah will be saved and Jerusalem will live in safety. And this is the name by which it shall be called: the Lord is righteous. Look for the blossom. The blossom will always grow. The seasons will always change. People come and go, their shadows comforting and strange. The flowers will always bloom once the darkness subsides. When every corner is filled with gloom, remember, the sun just hides. Brighter days will follow. The earth will keep moving. Look for the brighter color, help lift the darkness looming. Breathe in the air around us. Close your eyes for a minute's rest. Live life for those who guided us, for this moment is just a test. You will get stronger. Days will get longer. Hope will flourish. Memories to cherish. Let us unite our hearts in prayer. We've heard the words of sacred story, the visions of a prophet of today. We've sung our songs of hope and promise. Now may our hearts and minds be open as we pay attention to what Spirit is saying to us in this moment. And may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable this day. Amen. So today is the beginning of our new year. Happy New Year. It is the beginning of our church year. And every year we start this day with lighting the candle of hope, a sign and symbol of our faith's journey, a sign that calls us to live into possibility and promise, a sign that reminds us that no matter the journey, no matter how long the days, no matter how deep the darkness, we are not alone. We are companioned on our journey, and there is hope for a brighter day and a new way. Just as the flowers that now lie dormant in the earth await the sunshine will bloom again. The sun will shine and life will flourish. We read the words from the prophet Jeremiah, and Jeremiah was speaking to people in the midst of exile and holding out for them this vision of hope, a promise for a better day and a new way. He spoke to the people about one who would come to bring righteousness and justice to the land. And many of us believe that this word from Jeremiah was fulfilled, or at least partially fulfilled, in the coming of the person of Jesus of Nazareth. That in him, that promise of justice and love and a new world order was brought into being, and that hope was realized. We hold up before us today that same promise and hope that there is a better way, there is a new way, there is light, there is promise, and that promise is fulfilled in us as Jesus, or the light of the world, is born anew in us. And in order for that to happen, in order for us to live into that hope and into that promise, we must step through a doorway, a passageway that will lead us somewhere new, that will open us and prepare us for what is yet to come. Some of us have been spending time each day. We began last Monday looking at that door and preparing our souls in times of meditation. If you haven't had an opportunity to join us, you can do so on our YouTube page every morning by 8 o'clock. A meditation is there and invites us to look at moving into a space where we come to know our true selves. And as we do, we can grow spiritually and live into the hope that is this Christmas season. On Saturday, as I was preparing for the meditation, and as I shared in the meditation on Saturday, I shared a passage by a young girl named Mary Catherine Little, and she was just 12 years old when she wrote this piece. And I want you to just take a deep breath and listen to the wisdom of a 12-year-old girl. Look at me. I am walking through a door. My life is changing, and it's just perfect now. No more doors for me. They're too hard to get through. I'm staying here where it is safe. No, child. Those doors are part of you. You cannot ignore them. Who knows what you'll find when you open it? You have to meet their trial. If you don't, you won't be what you should become. There are always going to be doors for you. Can't stop them from coming. You've got to go through them to grow. It's called change. Look at the wildflower. It changes all the time, always blossoming or closing up, sprouting or withering. You're scared to go through the doors into the unknown, into change. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what change is going to bring. Listen to me. Go through those doors with hope. Go through those doors knowing change is the future and you are part of it. You don't know what change is. That's why you're scared. Well, change is the sun booming over the horizon, scattering rays of hope into a new day. Change is a baby lamb meeting the world for the first time. Change is growing from a young child into a young woman. Change is beautiful. You will learn to love it. Go through those doors with hope. My prayer for us this day is that as we begin this brand new journey, as we open the doors to what might be, that we have the courage to open them, to step through with hope. Hope for what could be. And may we work diligently so that it is. We come into this space, and part of the ways that we prepare is to gain nourishment for our souls. We do that by gathering around a table prepared for us, a table that speaks of hope and promise and possibility. It is a table that spans the globe, where there is a chair for everyone, young and old, healthy and weak, rich and poor, man and woman, slave and free. You are invited to come to taste and see that God is good. And so, seated as one, we gather around this table. And here we call to mind a story that speaks of love, of birth, of rebirth, of hope, of promise, of comfort and peace. A story that speaks of bringing dreams to life, that speaks of amazing grace. We recall in the beginning. In the beginning, an energy swept across the face of the universe and brought into being all that is. We remember that we breathed the breath of life and were gifted with all of creation and called to be stewards of what had been entrusted to us. We remember that we have not always fulfilled that role, that we have forgotten our stewardship. We have caused harm to the created order. But we also remember the voices and visions that come to us again and again and again, calling us, inviting us into right relationship. Voices in people like Abraham and Sarah, who dared to set out on a journey into the unknown, to be all they were called to be. Voices and visions like Jacob and Rachel and Leah, who tended the sheep, who dug the wells to bring nourishment to a people. Voices and visions of people like Esther and Deborah, who were willing to do all that they could do to free their people. Voices and visions over and over and over again, down through the years to this very time and place. And in them, our hope is renewed. Our dreams are given new life. We are strengthened for a journey that calls us to a better way, where flowers will bloom and rivers will flow and love will show the way. We recall the voice, the vision, the person of Jesus of Nazareth, who touched and held, forgave and freed, and called us to do the same. And on the night before his journey in this realm came to an end, he sat at a table with his friends. There they recalled that that story of hope and freedom and joy. And then he spoke to them words they had not heard. He took some ordinary bread and he broke it. And he said, "This is a symbol of my brokenness for you. This is a symbol of the brokenness of our world. Whenever you gather at the table, eat this bread. Remember what I have done and bring healing to a broken world." He took a cup of wine, the fruit of the vine. He said, "This is a cup of the new covenant, a sign of hope and promise for you and for all who are yet to come. Whenever you drink from this cup, remember and make it real in your lives." And so it is from that night to this very morning, when we gather around the table, we remember, we open our souls and our beings to receive the strength, the courage, the possibility of what can yet be. The gifts of God for the family of God. I'm going to invite you to open your communion package. Take the bread. Eat. Find nourishment for the journey. The fruit of the vine, a symbol of the quenching of our thirst and a sign of new joy. Let us pray. Having gathered as one at this table, may the story we have shared, the food we have eaten, give us what we need as we step through the doors with hope for what is yet to come. Amen. is like the wise ones. We might have eyes to see the star and the courage to set out on a road unknown. May we have the voice of the angels and sing a song that all the world might hear. May we have the ears of the shepherd to receive the good news that comes to us in those who sing to us. May we have the courage of Mary and of Joseph, that we might allow love to be born in us.